average policemen are inadequate. You have 317,800 policemen to man 180 million people. So spread them around, you find that they're insufficient. The military are no longer in power, so there's no need to be afraid that the police will outnumber them. The United Nations standard for police is about one policeman to about 300 or 400 persons. Can't we just do that simple one? Currently, it's inadequate. Two, the policemen don't have anybody to protest to. The Nigerian police is currently constituted. And how do we know that they get their funding? They hardly do. But the IGs cannot say it. They cannot say, when was the last time you saw the federal government of Nigeria send vehicles, police vehicles, to various formations all over the country? I have not seen that happen in the last 10 years. Every time you see the state governors giving them vehicles, I know that, for instance, in Rivers State, Governor Wike has given them, between 2015, when he came into now, over 100 vehicles. And most times those vehicles eventually disappear, or because there's no plan, there's no concrete plan, there's no continuity, so they end up disappearing. Now, so there's so many, we need to review our processes and retweak it. You see governors who have primary responsibility to receive funds on behalf of the Commonwealth, of the people. They expend these funds on behalf of the people. They also have a constitutional duty to sign death warrants for those on death row. If you are not comfortable with it, at least you can set up a review panel. After they've done it, if things are done, when was the last time you heard, apart from Shimole, that a governor signed death warrants? Sometimes some of these people are brought back into circulation. And so you see, all the institutions and the checks and balances that our forebears set up, and we inherited them, we've not improved upon them. When was the last time we did an audit of the judicial system, whereby saying this should be the average time a court case should stand in court? When was the last time we did that? So, for instance, the Alu format has taken 5 years. For instance, we were here in a state where somebody decided to shut down the courts. We cannot abuse, we cannot get what they can't give you what they don't have. So if there's a mob situation, how will the average police patrol team of 2, 3, 4 people, probably with 10 bullets, react? The mobile police force right now do more VIP patrol protection than what they were trained to do, which is crowd control, intervening in all sorts of handling such irate mobs and taking care of such extraordinary situations. There's nothing happening. There's no process. Nobody's checking. Nobody's looking out for the police. So everything we have, everything you hear, it's about infrastructure, brick and mortar, procurement and construction. Those things cannot change Nigeria. Those things will continue to allow us to degenerate. We must begin to address the soft issues. I asked the Nigerians here now, when was the last time you heard that a Nigerian police officer went to a shooting range? Do they have one? But he has a weapon and he does not go to practice shooting. The average police station abroad, underneath the basement, there's a shooting range. So that if he's going to engage a criminal in public, there should be minimal collateral damage. If you don't practice, you cannot be better. But who is looking? Who is asking? Who is training? Who is providing? It's a sad situation. That's the reality that faces us. So when people react and lynch, it's a reflection of who and where we are currently in indices of development. if we, yes, people have resorted to self-help, yes, and the setting up these pseudo security organizations. If we need to do it properly, it means that from inception there must be a clear-cut plan in line with community policing, whereby even those who will be actors and participants will be duly registered with the police, and the police will know those who are in the vicinity, have their identities, and have guarantors. So in case they breach the rules and the law, these people, sanctions can be applied or they can be reprimanded. You know how it is. Once anybody gets any small authority or recognition, they're like those touts who go about looking for levies, he begins to act as the dominant factor in that vicinity. We have seen in situations where some of these groups have turned to militias and private armies for politicians. So if the Nigerian state cannot function if it does not prioritize security. So this idea of bringing the military, so recently the 7th division was created in Port Harcourt. I heard them, they were saying that they will take care of kidnappers. It's an aberration. Nothing should be primary other than, number one, our source of revenue, number two, our security. And for security to be paramount, it means the average policeman must be a proud policeman, and that the average person like me should be struggling to be a policeman. Meaning that the government and the three arms of government must sit down, review where we are, employ more people, equip them, elevate them. A man cannot be looking after assets worth billions of naira and his salary is 10,000 naira. It's an aberration. You're making a mockery of the system. You cannot allow 371,000 people to run the system. It's a mockery of to secure the nation. We're mocking ourselves. Now, all these groups coming up are vigilantes, and you know how the political situation is. Once they come up, they have their loyalties to themselves and to places. If you come to so I don't want to mention names, it's a common thing to have call groups, diverse call groups. There's a proliferation of call groups all over the place. And how do they fund themselves? They fund themselves by collecting illegal levies and taxes from people. Don't the police people know about this? They know this, but they will not kill themselves. Yeah, so the nation must live up to its rest. Right now, we've been irresponsible when it comes to the security of our lives and the lives and properties. This is the number one priority and responsibility of the executive. We're supposed to sit down and put in money into security, particularly as it concerns the Nigerian police. The Nigerian police used to be responsible for everything that the EFCC, the DSS, and immigration were doing in time past, and they were doing it successfully. Now, because nothing has been done, the organization has been debased. Today, you see a policeman without uniform with a machete and axe, which is like he has also resorted to the self-help process. So he has to use unconventional means to get unconventional results. What people want to hear, oh, that area don't come, we never hear anything. But nobody asks that after all those people who have been paraded as suspects, how many of them have been prosecuted? How many convictions have been gotten? Don't we feel ashamed as a nation that our prisons are overcrowded? Have you gone to see the number of people awaiting trial? Is it not time we begin to query the various director of public prosecutions? We begin to name and shame. If they have issues, these things should be brought to the fore. If you go there, you hear their own, and they tell you their own problems, you'll be amazed. But we as a people in Nigeria, I think we're playing the ostrich. There's a problem with the whole structure. Yeah, there's the system. Yeah. Yes, please. Okay.